Good evening and welcome to your weekly briefing on SWBN News Watch. I am Chimera Chike. Thanks for joining us tonight. In the United States, houses of worship are looking at ways to harness the power of artificial intelligence in a bid to protect congregants from mass shootings, CBN News reported. Matt Montana, Director of Safety at Valley Baptist Church, Bakersfield, California, told the Higher Ground with Billy Hallowell podcast how his church is preparing to use AI to stop gunmen in their tracks. Montana, whose church has 4 campuses, said guns themselves aren't his concern. His security worries center on trying to prevent people from having weapons on campus for nefarious means. As he began his quest to find innovative ways to protect Valley Baptist Church, a company called Zero Eyes came across his desk, and he was immediately intrigued. A team of former Navy SEALs and technology experts founded Zero Eyes as a human-verified proactive gun detection and situational awareness software that integrates into existing digital security cameras with a mission to stop mass shootings and gun-related violence. In the podcast, the Chief Operating Officer and co-founder of Zero Eyes, Rob Huberty, told Higher Ground with Bill Hallowell that he and his team began laying the groundwork for the company after the infamous Parkland shooting. As for Montana and his planned use of the technology, he was initially intrigued not only by Zero Eyes' mission, but also by the veterans behind the company who had given their service to the nation. Valley Baptist Church hasn't yet turned on Zero Eyes, but parishioners support the coming effort to protect them. As a former law enforcement officer who spent the last 14 years of his career assigned to an FBI International Terrorism Squad, Montana said it is extremely important for churches and houses of faith to recognize that some people want to harm the innocent. This should make us vigilant, not paranoid. In the United Kingdom, authorities have dropped charges against Isabel Vaughan-Spurs after 6 months of police investigation. Recall that Vaughan-Spurs, a pro-life volunteer and co-director of the March for Life UK, was arrested in March this year for praying in her head while standing in a so-called buffer zone, an area where prayer, amongst other activities, is considered to constitute a protest against abortion. Premier Christian News and CBN News reported this story. Moreover, West Midlands Police announced there would be no further investigation into the alleged matter, and there will be no further action taken against Isabel Vaughan-Spurs. They also issued an apology for the 6 months it took to reach a conclusion. The faith-based law firm Alliance Defending Freedom UK, also known as ADF UK, said the police's decision not to prosecute Vaughan-Spurs came after the UK Home Secretary, Suella Braverman, published an open letter directing police departments across the country to avoid politicized policing. Braverman's letter directly spells out that silent prayer within itself is not unlawful, and holding lawful opinions, even if those opinions may offend others, is not a criminal offense. In a press statement, Jeremiah Igunubule, legal counsel for ADF UK, said the 6-month wait for charges to be filed was hard on Vaughan-Spurs. In his words, and I quote, "The arduous process of this criminal ordeal has been the punishment for Isabel. Moreover, her story has put the world on notice that fundamental freedoms are vulnerable in the United Kingdom. There is now an urgent need for legal changes to stem the tide of policing by politics. We hope the decision from West Midlands Police to not prosecute free thought alongside the Home Secretary's public commitment to protecting silent prayer will be reflected in legislation, guidance, and practice." With support from ADF UK, Vaughan-Spurs is currently considering options to pursue redress for her treatment at the hands of the police. Earlier this month, multiple media sources reported that a medical tribunal sitting in Manchester ruled that a Christian doctor overstepped the boundaries when he shared a Christian alternative with his consenting patient. Dr. Richard Scott, a medic since 1983, told the Medical Practitioners Tribunal Service, also known as MPTS, that he declined the use of antidepressants for his patient, discussed counseling, then asked permission to tackle his issues from a third spiritual angle. Moreover, the teenager told the tribunal he was taken aback when the doctor began talking about Christianity, which in his words made him feel uneasy, and claimed that the general practitioner told him he needed to reconnect with God. However, Scott told the tribunal that he does not pressurize anyone into a spiritual discussion, but rather offers and encourages. The tribunal found that the patient, identified only as patient B, did consent to undertake a spiritual discussion. According to the tribunal, Scott overstepped the boundaries and should have checked if the 19-year-old was comfortable with engaging in such a discussion and did not feel under pressure to continue. It is important to note that the guidance for the General Medical Council, also identified as GMC, states that, quote, doctors may practice medicine in accordance with their beliefs, provided they do not cause distress to patients. And they must not impose or express personal beliefs or values, including political, religious, and moral beliefs, to patients in ways that exploit their vulnerability or are likely to cause them distress, end of quote. In a 41-page ruling following the tribunal hearings, which began on August 21st this year, the MPTS concluded Scott's conduct constituted misconduct, but his actions did not cross the high threshold required to be considered serious misconduct. In the United Kingdom, a Christian member of parliament described the violence in the Indian state of Manipur as a silent attack on Christians and called on the United Kingdom government to act. Democratic Unionist Party MP Jim Shannon made this call during a parliamentary debate on freedom of religion and belief. In his words, and I quote, the event in Manipur might be classed as originating in tribal or ethnic tensions, but the Manipur violence has silently been an attack on Christians in India. It is striking that local police and state governments sat by as arsonists destroyed the properties, homes, and lives of minority religious groups. The perpetrators of the violence are understood to be Hindu extremists, whereas the victims are predominantly Christians. Up to 150 people are believed to have been killed, tens of thousands forced to flee their homes, while 230 churches have been destroyed since the conflict started nearly 4 months ago. Shannon, who chairs the all-party parliamentary group on international freedom of religion or belief in the United Kingdom, also asked the government whether Prime Minister Rishi Sunak had raised the issue with his counterpart Narendra Modi during their bilateral meeting at the G20 summit. He asserted that these human rights concerns must be raised and acted upon if the United Kingdom would engage in bilateral trade with India. In Armenia, authorities said roughly 120,000 residents have fled the Nagorno-Karabakh region after Azerbaijani forces took control of the area. The residents say they fear persecution, specifically ethnic cleansing. Azerbaijan enforced a month-long blockade on the region and then launched a lightning attack that killed dozens with artillery and drone strikes last week. Authority over the area is a source of contention between Armenia and Azerbaijan. The vast majority of residents in the area are ethnic Armenians, but the international community recognizes the region as part of Azerbaijan. Rights groups allege that majority Muslim Azerbaijan has sought to persecute Christians in the Nagorno-Karabakh region. In an address to the nation on Sunday, Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan said his government was working with international partners to protect the rights and security of Armenians in Nagorno-Karabakh. In his words, if these efforts do not produce concrete results, the government will welcome our sisters and brothers from Nagorno-Karabakh in the Republic of Armenia with every care. At time of writing this report, demonstrators demanding Pashinyan's resignation continued blocking the Armenian capital's main avenues, clashing occasionally with the police. We'll continue to monitor developments in Nagorno-Karabakh. We hope peace returns to the region for the sake of our brothers and sisters in the area. Here's something to meditate on as you make sense of the news tonight. Matthew chapter 10 verses 22 and 23 says, and I quote, "You will be hated by everyone because of my name, but the one who perseveres to the end will be saved. When they persecute you in one town, flee to the next. Truly, I tell you, you will not reach all the towns of Israel before the Son of Man comes." I hope this word brings you a level of peace and assurance. Until we meet next Thursday, 9 p.m., I remain Chima Chike. Stay hopeful. Bye now.